Hello and welcome back to ProfileTree's YouTube channel, where today we're going to be taking a look at Kotter's 8-step plan, or also known as the 8-step model for leading change within your own business. So I suppose we could say whether you think change is good or bad for your business, sometimes it's actually necessary. So for some businesses, you will want to change to become more efficient or reach your customers in a new way. Or, as we've seen with the likes of the pandemic, we're forced to change through certain factors or situations which have affected our business. And with technology advancing and customer buying habits constantly changing, it has actually become more important for companies to make sure that they're constantly changing and adapting to the new ways and the new buying behaviours of their customers, to ensure that they're constantly meeting their needs. And it can be very difficult to know where to start when it comes to change, no matter how small or big it actually is. In addition to this, it can be equally as hard to see a change process out to the actual end of it, while making sure that you're successful in meeting your key goals and objectives and reaching your desired outcome. So this leads us on to looking at Kotter's 8-step plan, looking at the different steps in which you can take into consideration while ensuring that your change and your ability to lead change make sure that you reach your desired outcomes. Before I take a look at the first step, I want to remind you that ProfileTree are a web design, digital marketing, SEO, video agency, and we also offer services and some guidance and support in around digital transformation. So if you do need any support in around any of these areas, don't be afraid to contact ProfileTree today and we will be more than happy to help. So moving on then, the first step that we can look at in terms of Kotter's 8-point model for leading change is creating a sense of urgency. And you want to ensure that the people within your organisation are talking about the plans which are going to be made, and you're as transparent as possible with your communication. So in business, where there is a sense of urgency, motivation closely follows, acting in accordance to this change of your business. Within Kotter's book on leading change, he mentions that 75% of your company's management team must actually buy in to the change in order for it to be a success. So that's actually quite a high number in that respect. But what it's trying to say is the emphasis must be on your communication and your ability to get people on board and buying into your overall plans. So really prioritising how you're going to communicate with these individuals or groups is going to be very important. I would actually recommend during this step to conduct a stakeholder mapping analysis, allowing you to really look at who your key stakeholders are and understand and be aware of who and how you're going to communicate with them. I have created a video in around this, so I would encourage you to check that out on ProfileTree's YouTube, but I will also leave a link to this video within the description box below. A few other tips within this step that I would offer is in terms of actually creating a scenario plan analysis, looking and identifying where your business is going, then giving you the ability to show your employees the benefits of the new change aspect within your business. A pestle analysis is another tool which will allow you to identify opportunities and threats within the macro environment, allowing you to exploit these opportunities or else defend against the threats, which is always important factors which you should be aware of, as I mentioned at the start of the video, in terms of the pandemic, so you can prepare for future events that you actually might see coming before they do. So like the stakeholder mapping analysis, I've created videos on these as well, so make sure and check those out. And when you are confident and you have the correct preparation completed, now you're ready to open forms of communication across the business, setting up meetings to inform your managers first, then the various team members of the future changes, but making sure to keep in mind that you're trying to create a sense of urgency. For the next step, you're going to want to form a coalition, and this means having the correct people in place to direct your change and making sure that you're reaching your key goals and objectives on time. So whoever this may be is entirely up to you, but forming a coalition should see you identify who the key people are within your business, who have strong leadership skills and who would be capable of directing and managing the change process. And you really want to try get a diversity of people to form your coalition, possibly from different job roles or titles, different departments, or a range of different people with different characteristics who are really trustworthy and reliable individuals. And each of these individuals will work as a team where they will meet on a regular occurrence and form plans in around how the urgency and future planning will be developed and managed accordingly. So maybe you've got to this point and now you're thinking, who in my business can I deem reliable, to really lead on this change and make sure it's a success. So some of the steps you might want to follow is first of all looking and identifying those leaders who have the skills and expertise to lead on change. Then selecting a diverse group across different departments, ensuring a broad range of strengths and capabilities are included within this. Then you want to give them a sense of power, motivating them to deliver effective results, while spending time and effort and resources in around building team initiatives, allowing you to build strong communication channels in amongst your coalition so that there's no barriers within the group which can impact your success. So now you have created a sense of urgency, you've created your coalition, you now want to create a compelling vision for a change, as without a vision it will be difficult for your business and your teams to have awareness of where your change is actually going, or what the outcome is likely to be as well. So creating a vision will also offer clarity of why your groups of people should actually act in accordance with the changes you are making. Because sometimes essentially, although you can see where the change is likely to go in terms of the benefits, it can prove very difficult for some employees to understand why you're changing and why they should actually adapt to these arrangements. So a clear, thought through strategy will have to be formed with key goals and objectives and a plan to achieve these, which is going to be key to your success. So some steps I would encourage you to follow is first of all looking and following an informed strategic framework to achieve your vision. ProfileTree have actually been working along with Ulster University in developing and implementing a new digital transformation model which you could use as a strategic framework towards any change management process you go through. So I would encourage you to check out the easel conception model, which you can find in the links within the description box below, as well as on ProfileTree's YouTube. The next step would be clearly to identify what success looks like, showing everyone what the end outcome actually looks like or should look like essentially. Then understanding what your business values to get them on board with your vision. And that's where it comes to really identifying and understanding your employees. The next step of Kotter's 8-point plan for leading change is communicating your vision. So once you have your vision in place, Kotter's next step mentions that it's now in time to put it into action. And you will want to communicate your vision in the most inspiring way possible, encouraging your company to buy into what you're saying and where your vision actually lies. And it's very, very important here to actually do this as frequently as possible so that people can become embedded with the changes and what your plans aim to achieve. So as I mentioned, over communicate, and you could do this through the likes of setting up information meetings and workshop initiatives where your coalition could be deemed reliable to spreading around the news and communicating the vision and change, allowing them to direct and behave in a manner which aligns with your vision, encouraging other employees to do the exact same. So as I mentioned, you want to be talking about your vision at any chance you get. You want to make a point to address all your business team's concerns, queries or frustrations in relation to the changes that are taking place, and don't actually overcomplicate your vision statement. Keep it clear and concise. And in doing this, you can ensure that your employees will understand what you're aiming to achieve. And then finally, I want to make a point in around expressing passionate behaviour towards your vision. So using the likes of stories or visuals to inspire everyone to get on board with what you're saying. The next step is looking at empowering others to act in accordance to the change by removing any obstacles. So when it comes to change within your own business, no matter how well you have carried out the first 4 steps of Kotter's plan, you will likely be faced with some form of resistance along the way. And for many people, they will find it difficult to adapt to change where they maybe have been comfortable with working a particular job role or in a particular style or role or responsibility for quite a long time. So at the start, they will find it difficult or a bit irritating to change or try to adapt to new ways of working. And this is why it's very important that you identify obstacles and act in a way to remove them before they can develop any further. And resistance to change within change management is one of the key concepts to a lot of failure, as businesses won't recognise or be able to manage this effectively. So you need to understand the reason behind this, and it might be through potential job loss, lack of trust with those who are directing the change, or even poor timing. However, you want to analyse the change and then ask yourself, why are they resisting? Is it in relation to the people, the technology or the structure of the business? Then you want to take the following appropriate steps to manage this accordingly. I have created a video in around dealing with resistance to change, so I would encourage you to check that video out as well if you face this problem. However, a couple of quick tips you might want to follow is looking at analysing any forms of resistance in terms of who is it coming from and why is it happening. Then you could use your coalition to effectively manage change and remove any obstacles. Doing this, you could then create rewards and incentives motivating people to act in a certain way, and then you can act in a proactive way, becoming fast and responsive towards avoiding any obstacles and developing your new plans further. This brings us on to the 6th step of Kotter's 8-point plan, and you're probably thinking this is a pretty long plan, but I suppose there are different variables that you really need to take into place if you really want to make sure that you're leading and directing change in the right way possible. Because this is something that many businesses won't go through too often, but when you do go through it, it's important that you really get it right. And the 6th step is going to look at creating short-term wins. And what this means is exactly defining what success looks like in the short term, as this will be highly effective in terms of how you can guide and achieve your desired outcomes. So actually creating key performance indicators, KPIs, will be an effective way to measure your success and celebrate early wins within the step of Kotter's plan. And in doing so, this will positively inspire your teams, showing them that their time and effort is praised and allowing them to become confident in the work that they are doing. So, maintaining motivation and the momentum of the change process will be key within this stage, where enforcing beliefs and attitudes upon people will play a crucial role in seeing out your overall change process. And you can do this in different ways by looking for opportunities to promote progress and work ethic, aligning your KPIs with the likes of your goals and objectives, allowing you to measure success effectively, setting SMART goals, so goals which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time bound. And I would also recommend actually setting goals which are quite easy to achieve to begin with, so that you can build momentum and not destroy any early confidence. And then just a last point in terms of rewarding and making examples of those individuals who are achieving these wins and are embedding or adopting really well with the change. The next step and the second last step of Kotter's 8-point model is looking at building on the change. And Kotter himself emphasises that you don't want to finalise changes and claim success too early in the change process, and although short-term wins can be seen as an effective success measure, achieving your desired outcomes will be very difficult. So it may be good practice to actually change your coalition. If we remember back to step 2, we want to change the coalition, change those key leaders that you had put in place, and take on new leaders to enforce the last phase of the overall change process. And doing so, this will help you take in new ideas and keep everyone motivated and moving in the right direction. So a few steps you might want to follow here is analysing progress and identifying areas which need improvement, explaining how early wins was achieved and setting new goals, and making any required adjustments and building on the final change then. So this takes us on to the final step of Kotter's 8-point plan, and this is embedding the changes within the company culture. So within the final step, you will want to ensure that you have developed a culture of change where the values of your vision have been clearly embedded with the new ways of working. And once this vision has been set in place and achieved, you will want to ensure your key leaders continue to act in a way which ensures this remains consistent within your company's culture. So you really want to approach this with a mindset of continuous improvement, where the business can see the continuous efforts to ensure the change makes its place in the future of the business culture. And you can do this by ensuring the new culture change is integrated into your processes, workflows and procedures. You also want to continue to make an effort to talk about the new ways of working, pointing out exactly what success looks like. Maybe even hiring new employees in line with your new cultures that have been made, and encouraging key leaders to act in accordance with the changes and the new ways of working. And then finally, of course, rewarding those individuals that have directed the change process and has made sure that your change and transformation or transition of your business has been successful. That concludes today's video of an overview of Kotter's 8-point plan for leading change. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure and check out the links to some resources within the description box below. I will also leave my email and the personal email of the business on screen now. So if you would like to contact us in relation to any support and guidance in around the likes of digital transformation or change management or any type of business transformation today, make sure and get us through one of those emails and we will be back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and have a brilliant day.